Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is a beautiful morning here on the boat. Beautiful and frosty, but thankfully I've got the fire on and I'm keeping warm. Hello mates. So this is what it's like when I'm trading, guys. I have this little furry mascot attacking me, distracting me. Come here. No, he's really the brains behind the operation. Jet the super trader. So it's been another interesting week trading, and today I'm going to share with you one of the trades that I took this week. Let's just say it didn't go to plan. But I think that this trade that I'm going to break down with you in the moment is a great trade to take some lessons from. I've certainly learned a lot from it, and that's what I'm going to share with you in just a moment. But I think that it's the kind of trade and the kind of experience trading that a lot of traders go through, especially beginner traders. So it's just really good to know that you're not alone and that you can definitely bounce back from this. So let's dive onto the charts and I'll break down my trade with you guys. Okay guys, so I've taken the charts back in time so I can share with you every step of the trade that I took. And it was taken trading £USD, and this was what I came to when I saw the charts in the morning. This is a 4-hourly chart, and as you can see, we've been in this little consolidation period for pound dollar, and I've been waiting for a clear break of the range so that I could take advantage of the momentum. And when I came to the charts, this green candle here is the closing 2 o'clock in the morning candle for the 4-hour, and as you can see, this is a really nice strong bullish candle showing a lot of momentum breaking the top of this range. And I thought that this was a clear sign that we might actually get a continuation of the break of the range, and that was what I was looking to trade today. So what I did for this trade was, first of all, I estimated around about 50% of this candle, and I just marked it with a trend line because what I was looking for was some sort of pullback on the faster time frames, around about 50% retracement, so that I could get a safer entry on a pullback move and then hopefully ride the continuation to the upside. That's all I did on the 4-hourly chart. So once I established that, I then dropped down to the 1-hourly chart. And this was basically just to establish the behavior of the market in greater detail. So we can see that we had this huge green candle here on the hourly from the bottom of the range. We'd been slowly consolidating here, and then we had some quite big green candles, which is what took us through the top of the range. And that was pretty much all I made out from the hourly, was just this nice strong upwards bullish trend. And this was roughly around about the time I was looking at this. So we had the closing 6 o'clock hourly candle, and we were just consolidating at this point. We were holding the breakout of the range at the moment. So I thought that this was further confluence to add to the fact that there might be a continuation to the upside. Finally, I then dropped to the 15-minute time frame, which is the time frame that I was looking at for the entries. So using the 4-hourly and the hourly chart, I was looking to take a day trade and then the 15-minute for my entry. So I'm shifting more to a day trading perspective rather than my usual scalping perspective for this trade, because I wanted to try to capture the move and have a larger stop and larger profit target to manage my risk. So as you can see here, this dotted line is the 50% retracement level that I drew from the 4-hourly, and at the moment on the 15-minute chart we seem to be respecting this really nicely because we've got no candles closing below, and if anything we have a couple of wick rejections. And what I was interested in here is that we also seem to be making a double bottom on the 15-minute and holding this new higher low level. So there's quite a few things going on here that were giving me confirmation to take this trade. In fact, once we had this closing 745 candle, which was a nice strong bullish move pushing up out of this double bottom, this was when I actually set my plan for the trade entry. So I set my entry just on the close of this 15-minute candle here, and I decided to use a 22 pip stop, which I know might sound random, but I wanted to give this enough move, and I basically set it just below the support level at the top of this range because I felt that if it was going to pull back that much, that would be quite a severe pullback on the 4-hourly chart, and it probably would just be a false break and break the range down lower. So that's why I used a 22 pip stop, and with that I actually was only trying to capture a small profit from this trade. Still utilising a positive profit loss ratio, I was looking to risk 22 pips to make 33 pips, so aiming to get 1.5% from this trade. I set this as a buy stop order because Price did push up on this 15-minute. We had a slight dip down, and that's where I set my stop order, so that if price continued pushing up, it would activate my order into the trade, activate my order, activate my stop, and my take profit. So in theory, once I had set this up on my broker, on MetaTrader 4, I could have just walked away, and I definitely should have just walked away. And for all of you guys who've said to me in the past that I need to set it and forget it, I completely agree with you 100%, and I really wish that I had listened to you when I took this trade, because I didn't. I sat here. And I think this is the challenge I'm experiencing at the moment, because I've been delving between scalping trades and a scalping mindset, which means I have to be at the computer. I have to be quite actively watching and monitoring and managing my trades, and then I'm switching between that and day trading, which is a completely different ball game. I think it needs a lot more patience because the trades have to play out. And what I forgot when I took this trade is that I am day trading, not scalping, but I sat here and watched this like I was scalping, and that is the mistake that I made with this trade. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So an hour into the opening London session, and as you can see here, the 8:45 closing 15-minute candle closed just below my entry, and I watched this. I sat here for an hour and watched this, and I know that's really bad, guys. I'm probably going to get criticized in the comments below, and hey, I know I deserve it, but this is how you learn and how you grow. And what this did is it opened up, it activated my buy stop, so I was in the trade, it came down, surged up a little bit. Then it made this candle here where it tapped my entry and closed below. And at this point, I thought it was looking quite bearish because we'd had a lower low being made and we weren't breaking the highs. So at this point, as you can see, the 15-minute closed at 1.3775, and I decided to get out of the trade. I manually closed my position because I believed at the time that it was the right thing to do, because I believed I was managing my risk. I thought I'd rather take a 0.25% of a loss than hold this trade and have it hit my loss. For some reason, I was convinced at this point that it was going to be a false break out of this range based on the first hour of the London open of the price action, because it was looking a little bit bearish. But if I had just set it and forget it, this is what would have happened. Fair enough, it would have meant holding this position all day, because price action didn't actually hit my take profit until 7:30 that day. So it would have been a full 11-hour trade hold. But if I'd have set it and forget it, it would have worked and I would have won. So to begin with, as you can see, price did consolidate quite a bit. It came down and it did come quite close to my stop, but my stop would have held because it was still 3 pips above my stop, and I have quite tight spreads on £USD on my broker, so I know that would have held. And after it found whatever support it was looking for at this point, it then started to trend up rather nicely. I think maybe the addition of the New York session brought some volume in to help guide that movement up. And we got a nice trend going on, and eventually it would have hit my take profit. So if I had set this in the morning, if I had turned off my charts, turned off my broker, walked away, let the trade do its thing, and then just come back to it the next day and checked it, I would have had 1.5% extra in my account, and I would have saved myself all that time and stress sitting aimlessly watching the charts. But I guess it happens, right, guys? This is certainly one of the trades that I'm going to embed in my memory to learn from, try to remember next time, so that I trust my plan. Because when you are trading the larger time frames, the 4-hourly chart, you're looking for the long-term holds. It's going to take 4 hours, 8 hours, sometimes even 12 hours for a trade to play out. If you've got the confirmation from the larger time frames, then generally you've got to trust it. You've got to trust your plan, and that's exactly what I should have done here. I should have let it work. And just to share with you the movement of the market from here as well. During the Asian session, it continued to trend up rather nicely, and then the next day, come the London session, it continued to trend up rather nicely. So actually, if I had set this trade, I could have even aimed for a larger target. And I think that this could have been the best trade of the week. It just goes to show that the opportunities are there. It's just yourself who really does sabotage it. The market's got nothing to do with it. It's us traders ourselves that affect this. And if I had a more professional mindset that day, if I'd have just let it do its thing, I mean, I could have done this a lot differently. I could have won for starters. I could have won a lot more if I handled it differently. There's so many lessons to take from a trade, and I think it's really great to reflect over them and learn from them. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little video just sharing my frustration from this trade, but also the valuable, crucial lessons that I've also taken from it. If you've had a similar experience, share it below. It's always great to connect with fellow traders. And if you've enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already part of the channel, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks guys. Bye.